You know that moment when you want to scream because someone lied, betrayed or twisted your truth, when you can feel the heat rising in your chest. Ready to defend yourself, ready to fight back? Yeah, I've been there. And I've learned something the hard way. You don't win peace by shouting. You win it by walking away and letting time translate what you couldn't. It's wild, isn't it? How silence can become the loudest response in the room. How calm can become your ultimate revenge. See, the universe has a strange sense of balance. It might not react instantly, but it always keeps receipts. When someone tries to harm you, manipulate you, or take what isn't theirs, you don't need to chase justice. It's already on its way. Not through anger, not through revenge, but through the invisible math of energy. Karma doesn't shout, it whispers. It moves quietly, rearranging everything until truth stands naked again. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to control what happens next. You just have to stay calm enough to let the universe handle its business. Sometimes I think of it like this. Life is a mirror that doesn't forget faces. People think they're getting away with things because the reflection takes time to appear. But when it finally does, it's crystal clear. That's why I don't fight the way I used to. Because what's meant for me won't need me to bleed for it. And what's meant to leave will do it, even if I beg it to stay. So maybe today, you're holding a story that no one believes. Maybe someone painted you as the villain when you were just trying to protect your peace. Maybe they broke your trust and walked away smiling. If that's you, breathe. Because here's the secret no one tells you. You don't need to prove your truth. You just need to live long enough for it to reveal itself. And it always does. Karma has no rush. It's patient, precise and poetic. It doesn't forget, and it doesn't need your permission to begin. You can almost feel it, right? The way time bends to justice when you stop chasing outcomes. It's like the universe finally exhales for you. So don't react. Don't waste your power trying to convince people who built their comfort on misunderstanding you. Let their own energy echo back to them. That's karma's job, not yours. And while that happens, while the unseen takes care of what you can't, you focus on becoming better, not bitter. You focus on peace so deeply that chaos starts to feel foreign. You focus on growth so beautiful that even your silence feels sacred. That's the real lesson. Peace is not weakness. Calm doesn't mean surrender. It means you finally trust the timing of things larger than yourself. The people who wronged you, they'll meet their mirrors. The lies they told will start to sound like cages when they repeat them. The mask always cracks. The truth always returns. And when it does, you'll realize you didn't lose. You simply graduated. So maybe it's time to stop explaining yourself. Time to stop trying to make everyone see what only experience can teach. Because peace doesn't explain. It just exists. Maybe you needed this reminder today that you're not crazy for wanting calm, that your silence is not emptiness, it's power being refined. Every storm runs out of rain, every mask falls in its own time. And the truth? It doesn't need a defense attorney, it just needs patience. Stay calm, let karma do the talking, and when it finally speaks, you'll see. It always speaks your language. If you've ever been the quiet one who carried everything without a word, this is your moment to breathe again. Because silence doesn't mean you lost. It means the story isn't done yet. And maybe, just maybe, the next chapter is being written in your favor right now. So, here's your reminder before we go deeper. You don't need to fight to be seen. You just need to stay long enough to let time do the revealing. Because the truth, it always knows the way home. Before we keep going, take a second. Breathe in. You're not alone in this. There's a whole tribe of souls learning to trust silence again. Click the link below and join thousands of others healing, learning and rising, one calm heartbeat at a time. There's a strange peace that comes when you stop trying to make people understand you, when you no longer need to win arguments or prove that you were the one who tried harder. It's not resignation, it's awakening. Because the older you get, the more you see that some storms aren't meant to be fought, they're meant to be outlived. We live in a world that mistakes noise for strength. Everyone's shouting their version of the truth, trying to be the loudest voice in the room. But the truth never competes. It doesn't rush. It waits. Time has this fascinating way of cleaning the stage. People who played victims start revealing their scripts. Masks fall off when the applause fades. And one day, without your effort, without revenge, everything just rearranges itself. That's karma in motion, not fire and punishment, but the quiet return of what's fair. Maybe you've noticed it. Someone who hurt you suddenly faces the same thing they did to you, but from someone else. Someone who lied finds themselves surrounded by liars. It's not magic, it's math. Every action is an echo. Every choice writes a receipt. And you're You're learning to stand still in the middle of all that noise, to trust the echo, not the fight. Let me tell you something personal. Once, I spent years trying to explain myself to people who never intended to listen. I thought if I just said it right, they'd finally see my heart. But they didn't want my truth. They wanted control. And the more I spoke, the smaller I felt. Until one day I just stopped. No goodbye. No big announcement. Just silence. And that silence, it was the beginning of my freedom. When you stop chasing explanations, something miraculous happens. You start hearing your own voice again. The noise outside fades, and the calm inside grows. You start realizing that not everyone deserves a front row seat to your peace. See, karma doesn't punish, it teaches. And sometimes you're not the target of someone's cruelty. You're just the mirror that reveals who they are. Their reflection might hurt, but it's not yours to carry. So when you feel the urge to react, pause. Let them speak. Let them lie. Let them underestimate you. Because eventually, life will turn the volume up on their own echoes. And when it does, your silence will sound prophetic. The calmest souls are often the most misunderstood. People assume they don't care, when in truth, they've just learned not to waste sacred energy on noise that time will handle. Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of chaos, accusations flying, narratives spinning, and you simply breathe. Not because you're weak, but because you know how stories end when you stop feeding them. The truth doesn't drown. It waits for the tide to turn. It's like watching a seed grow under the soil. You can't see the justice yet, but it's happening. Quietly, invisibly, inevitably. You just have to stay still long enough to see it bloom. There's something divine about that kind of restraint. Because every time you choose peace over reaction, you're saying to the universe, I trust your timing more than my anger. That's powerful energy. That's creation-level trust. The world teaches revenge. The spirit teaches surrender. And between those two, you find evolution. So maybe the next time someone tests your patience, don't react. When they provoke you, don't explain. When they gossip, don't correct. Smile, not from arrogance, but from clarity. Because you already know how this story ends. Time is the best storyteller. The truth always returns, always. Sometimes late, but always right on time. And when it does, when the same people who mocked your calm come back searching for it, you'll be long gone, already at peace. You'll be somewhere lighter, freer, where explanations aren't necessary and history speaks for itself. That's what happens when you let karma do the talking. It narrates your story better than you ever could. You don't have to fight anymore. You don't have to prove who you are. Because the truth, it doesn't need protection. It's eternal. So today, make yourself a promise. To stay calm even when chaos begs for your attention. To trust even when silence feels unbearable. To breathe even when your ego wants to scream. Because the moment you stop reacting, you step into mastery. And when you reach that level, no one can touch you. That's not weakness. That's divine power disguised as peace. So, stay calm. Let karma do the talking, and trust that every truth that's meant to surface will. It always does. There comes a day when you no longer want to explain, defend, or prove anything. Not because you've given up, but because you finally understand that truth doesn't beg. It just is. The people who once doubted you will replay every scene in their mind. They'll remember what they said, how they acted, and what they didn't see. And that's when karma whispers. Not with thunder, but with clarity. It doesn't humiliate, it illuminates. That's the kind of justice life delivers. Not through vengeance, but through vision. One day, everyone sees what you saw all along. And you, the one who chose peace instead of drama, you'll look back and smile. Not with pride, but with serenity. Because now you know, you never lost. You simply stopped trying to convince the blind to see. The truth doesn't compete, it endures. And that's what makes it so powerful. There's this sacred transition that happens when you stop reacting and start observing. You begin to notice how energy moves, how what you give always returns, multiplied. When you radiate calm, calmness follows you. When you send out understanding, life rearranges people and situations to reflect it back. And when you trust the process, even what once broke you begins to bless you. So let them talk, let them misunderstand, let them invent stories if they must. Because every word spoken against you builds a bridge for karma to walk on. You're not supposed to chase, you're supposed to rise. And rising often looks like walking away, quietly, with your dignity intact and your peace unshaken. The universe doesn't need your anger to balance the scales. It only needs your faith that balance exists. Every storm you've survived has already made you someone impossible to destroy. Every silence you've held became a form of prayer, a vow between you and the universe that says, I trust you, even now. And oh, how the universe loves that kind of trust. It moves mountains for it. It exposes lies for it. It opens new doors in places where others tried to bury you. Because calm isn't passive, it's magnetic. It draws in what matches your peace and repels what doesn't. You don't need to chase justice when you are justice in motion. You don't need to seek revenge when your growth already embarrasses those who wished you harm. Remember this, karma isn't punishment, it's education. It's the language of the universe saying, this is what your energy creates. Learn, adjust, rise. And you, my friend, you've been learning, you've been adjusting, you've been rising quietly. So stay calm. Keep your silence sacred. Your stillness is not emptiness, it's power under control. And one day, when truth finally steps into the light, not as revenge, but as revelation, you'll see why nothing needed to be forced. Everything was always aligning for you. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The same mouths that spoke against you will one day speak of you with reverence. The same people who ignored your pain will ask for your wisdom. Because you didn't react, you evolved. That's how you know karma's done its work. When you can look back, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. So before you scroll away, listen to this. Not as advice, but as truth carved from experience. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to chase every explanation. Your silence will speak when the time is right. And when it does, it'll echo louder than any words ever could. Because time always translates truth. Always. So breathe. You're not forgotten. You're not unseen. You're just being protected while everything rearranges in your favor. And when it's done, when karma has done the talking, your peace will be the loudest sound in the room. If this resonated with your heart, share it. Someone out there is fighting with words when all they need is stillness. Subscribe, stay close, and keep walking with us. This is Human Wave, where silence heals, truth returns, and souls remember their power.